Hey, what's up guys? So in this video I'm going to share with you 5 tips regarding Affinity Designer. Now tip number 1 is about selecting objects. This is the default setting about the object selection. So for example, you have different objects or different shapes scattered in your document and you want to select a few of them. So what you would normally do is select this black arrow tool or the move tool and select it like that. Now notice what happens when I drag over this top one, this star. So if I just drag it here and select it partially, it just covers it partially, it does not select it. So in order to select it, I'll have to drag it over it completely so that this rectangle shape that appears here, light blue color, it covers this one completely. So same is the case with the other one. I need to cover these stars completely in order to select it. Now this is the default behavior, but if you do not want it to behave it like that, you need to make some changes. Let me show you what I mean. So let's say I want to select these few ones, let's say this one, and I do not want to select this star. So what I would normally do is just drag it over here and try to select it by covering it like that. But notice what happens. So when I just my cursor passes beyond this edge here and covers this star completely, and what happens is that this one, the bottom star, this one is also gets selected, which I do not want. So I want to select these areas, these stars, not this one. So in order to do that, I need to change its behavior. So for that purpose, I can just simply deselect anything, and at the top here you will see this button and preferences, or if you have anything selected, you can go to edit and preferences. This works the same. So in that you get these different options. So you need to go into the tools and make sure that this option is selected, select object when intersects with the selection marquee. So if I select this one and then close it, now let's see what happens. So if I just select this one, and as soon as I touch this star, it gets selected as well. Now I'm able to select this one and other stars, and I can just simply leave it and then do whatever I want to do with these objects and these stars. Now let's go to the tip number 2, and that is about how objects appear in your document. Remember that this is the document, this is not an artboard. So let's say I'm just creating something design, or maybe there are different elements, and maybe I'm just creating a pattern and I just created something, and for the moment I just wanted to move beyond the document because I'm working on something something different. So if I just move it beyond the document, it simply disappears. And maybe after working on some other objects or other elements, I forgot that I have moved something beyond the document, and I'm just worried maybe I just deleted, and there are a lot of layers in the layers panel. I cannot just go through everything, and as you can see that this is not appearing. If it only appears when I select it. So if you want that object, any object that is beyond the document, if you want that object to appear and just to be visible, all you have to do is go to view and views, and actually not the views, in the view mode. So in the view mode you need to make sure that this is not selected, this is not checked. So currently it is clip to canvas, this option is checked, that is why that object is invisible. And you can also use this keyboard shortcut, that is the backslash. So if I just uncheck it, now you can see that our objects are visible. So that can be very helpful when creating a pattern and some of your designs are going beyond the document and you want to see how the tile looks. So all you can do is just press that shortcut as well, that is backslash key, and that will just disappear. So that is a handy tip or a handy shortcut in my opinion. Tip number 3, using the default colors or setting default colors. So as you can see here on the document, I have star shapes in 2 different colors, the red ones and the yellow ones. And maybe I'm just going to create something different, and I'm just maybe create something star or any shape that is in a different color. So maybe a blue color. I'm just going to maybe create some other shapes here like that, and maybe a few more shapes using the same color. So now you can see that the last shape that I created, this one has a blue color. Now if we want to create something else, maybe some few shapes similar to this one, but I want to use the same red color. So if I just select red color, you can see in the appearance panel the red color is selected, but if I deselect it, it goes back to that blue color, the last thing that, or the last object that I created. So if I just create again something, maybe just let's talk about this one, this shape. So if I just create a new shape, it will just keep that new color, the last color that I used. So if you do not want it to behave like that, and if you want to use something from the already created object, use this color maybe as a default color for the new shape, so all you have to do is just select this one or any of the shape, and at the top you have this option that is called synchronize defaults from selection. And if you just click it here, now whenever you are going to create a new shape, it will use the colors from that object or that shape that you have selected. Similarly, if I just want to create a new shape with this yellow or the golden color, I'll just select that shape, click that button, synchronize defaults, and then I can just create any shape using that default color. So in my opinion, this is a little bit helpful in creating new objects, and don't have to recolor them each and every time. Okay, now tip number 4, and that is using global colors. So I have, now you can see here 3 different colors, yellow, red and blue color. Now if I want to create something new, and let's say, actually let me show you something else. So if I want to change this red color, maybe change it to something else, so what I need to do is just select any red color and go to select same and fill color, and sometimes it selects all the objects of the same color, and you can easily change it in the appearance panel to whatever color you want, like that. But sometimes it does not work, and sometimes it leaves some objects that have the same color, maybe they are in a different group. So I have noticed this thing happening inside Affinity Designer. So if you want to avoid that, and if you want to avoid getting it heavier on your system, because I have noticed that if there are a lot of different objects, and if you want to change the color, single color for all of the different objects, it will cause some kind of problem for you. It will get heavier on your computer system, so that can be a little bit problem, and sometimes it will crash the software as well. So if you do not want it to behave like that, here is a tip. So for example, I want to create another shape, another object, and I want it to be a little bit different, maybe this red color. So now I'm pretty sure that this is the red color that I want for other objects as well. So what I can do is just select that object, the first one, the first new color object that I created, and I can just use this one to create a global color swatch. But before I do that, I need to make sure that I have a document color palette. It is not really necessary, we can do it in the later step, but it's better to do it before that. So open the swatches panel, and at the top you will see this button, click it, and make sure that you add a new document palette. So click this one, and it will create a new document palette. Now you can select that object that with the new color that you want. So you can right click here and go down here, add to swatches, and make sure that you use this one, any of these, from fill as global or from line as global, depending upon requirement. If you want your fill color to be global color, or the line color, or both, that totally depends upon you. So currently it has a fill color, so I want to use this fill color as a global color. So if I just click here, it will just simply create that color as a global color in the new document. Now if I'm just going to create a new document, new shape here, let's say rectangle, maybe some rectangles, some other star shapes, maybe something like that, and another maybe another shape like that. So now that I have that fill color available here, I do not have to select those objects. I can simply change this color, global color, and you can see that it is changing everywhere with all the objects. I do not have to select the objects. I can simply go into the appearance panel, and actually not in the appearance panel, in the swatches panel, and I can simply change that single global color. Now if I want to change this one, you can see that this purple one, actually this pinkish one, I need to select every other object. Now if I just select this one and add to swatches as a fill, from fill as a global, let's see what happens. So it has created that fill color. Now if I change this fill color, this global color, you can see that it is only changing this one color, it's not changing the other one, and that is because this global color is actually created after creating the other shapes. So remember that when we created this first one, this green one, we created that single shape, we gave it a color and then created a global color, and after creating the global color we created other elements using the same color. But in this second case, we first created the other copies or the other objects with the same color and then created the global color. So that is not the right, you can say, the steps of using this global color. First you need to create the shape, give it whatever color you want, then create the global color, and after creating the global color you can create other objects or other shapes using the same color, and then you will be able to change it or control it through that swatches panel. So just keep that in mind. Tip number 5, and that is very useful when you want to create a color variation of your maybe t-shirt designs. For example, here I have a design and that is suitable for a black color. Now in this one I'm using artboards, as you can see here. So I've created 2 artboards of the same size. So I have this design here that is suitable for the black t-shirt, but I want to create another copy of this one that will be suitable for the white t-shirt. So I can either just press Control J, copy it and place it here on the other side. Now if you do not want to do it, all you have to do is press the Alt key and drag it on the other artboard, and it will automatically appear in the artboard 2 under it. So let me undo it, let me show you again. So currently artboard 2 is empty, the design is in artboard 1. So if I just select this one, I can just simply press Alt key and drag it into the artboard 2, and it will automatically move into the artboard 2. Now I can hide artboard 1 and work on this artboard 2 graphic and make it suitable for the white background. So that was just a little tip if you want to create a color variation of your t-shirt designs for different color t-shirts or different color backgrounds. So guys, hopefully this video has been helpful for you in learning Affinity Designer. If so, make sure that you like the video and let me know in the comments below what do you think about these tips, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video, and thank you for watching.